Okay, guys, with these problems, we are going to evaluate some functions that are in function notation. By function notation, it simply means that instead of using y, they'll use terms like f of x or g of x. They mean the same thing as y. But we say that this is the function in regards to x. And with this notation, we can substitute and keep track of what we substituted in. So in this case, the first problem that we're going to do is f of 4. That simply means that everywhere that I saw an x in the f of x function, I will now replace it with a 4. So if I do that, I'll have 2 times the quantity 4 minus 4. Whenever you're evaluating a function, you substitute first, always use parentheses, and then you simplify from there on out. So for f of 4, I have 2 times 4, which is 8 minus 4. And then I have one more step, which is f of 4 equals 8 minus 4, which is 4. And that's how you evaluate a function. Now, it can get a little bit more complicated. Like down here, I have g of 2n. So I'm going to take the function g up here. I'm going to replace all the x's with 2n. So in this case, I will have 2n squared minus 4 times 2n. And that comes directly from the equation up here, g of x equals x squared minus 4x. I replaced all the x's with 2n. Now down here, I have 2n squared. That means 2n times 2n. And I get g of 2n equals 2 times 2 is 4, and n times n is n squared. Then I have negative 4 times a positive 2n, and a negative times a positive is a negative, and 4 times 2n is 8n. I cannot combine these terms. They are not like terms. They do not have the same variable, so I'll simply leave it as g of 2n equals 4 squared minus 8n. Then we have some problems like this that'll have extra steps on the outside. The first thing I'm going to do is evaluate f of 2, and then I'll come back and add in the plus 3. So let's start with f of 2. f of 2 says I replace all the x values in f of x equals 2x minus 4 with 2, which means f of 2 would be 2 times 2 minus 4. Well, I can see that 2 times 2 is going to be 4, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So what I actually have for f of 2 is 0. For this function, I'm going to replace that f of 2 with 0, and I have 0 plus 3. Well, 0 plus 3 is 3, and my final answer is simply 3. Now, you can write your answer in this form for this worksheet, but further on in the book, I'm going to require you to write it using your function notation. So I would prefer that you write for me f of 2 plus 3 equals 3. This tells me where you started and where you ended, and I know exactly what you got and where you came from.